Ferrari's brake crisis is no longer a rumor. Monaco confirmed it. Charles Leclerc did not just crash at home. He exposed the problem Ferrari could not afford to carry into the most unforgiving race of the season. A car fast enough for Lewis Hamilton to finish second. A car unstable enough for Leclerc to lose trust when it mattered most. That is what makes this so dangerous. Same team, same circuit, same pressure. But one Ferrari reached the podium and the other became evidence. Now Hamilton's reaction matters, because his result proves Ferrari have real speed. But Leclerc's DNF proves something even bigger. Speed means nothing if the driver cannot trust the brakes. And if Ferrari already had a different solution on Hamilton's side, then Monaco may have revealed the question Maranello fears most. Is Ferrari building a title weapon, or a fast car with a hidden flaw that could destroy everything? Subscribe to the channel. Monaco did not expose Ferrari because the car was slow. It exposed Ferrari because the car was fast. That is the part that makes Leclerc's DNF so dangerous. A slow car gives everyone an easy explanation. The team missed the setup. The driver pushed too hard. The pace was not there. The result was never truly possible. But Ferrari did not have that excuse. The SF26 had speed. It had enough performance for Lewis Hamilton to finish second. It had enough balance to look competitive in the tight streets. It had enough potential to make Ferrari believe Monaco could become one of those weekends that changes the mood of an entire season. And that is exactly why the crash hurt so much. Because Charles Leclerc was not chasing something impossible. He was chasing something Ferrari had put within reach. A home result. A podium chance. A chance to finally turn Monaco from a place of pain into a place of reward. Then the brakes became the story. And once the brakes became the story, Ferrari's weekend changed from mixed emotions into a crisis. Because braking is not just one system on a Formula One car. Braking is the driver's trust line. It is the line between speed and control. The line between bravery and recklessness. The line between a car that can be attacked with confidence and a car that makes the driver protect himself before he even reaches the corner. At Monaco, that line is razor thin. There is no room to test the car gently when the wall is waiting. There is no wide runoff to save the moment. There is no extra breath between the mistake and the consequence. The driver arrives at the braking zone and commits. That is it. The car either answers or the race starts to disappear. That is why Leclerc's discomfort under braking mattered before the crash ever happened. It was not just a small complaint. It was not background noise. It was the kind of warning that becomes more serious every time the car gets closer to a circuit like Monaco. Because at Monaco, a driver needs complete belief. Not confidence in 90% of the lap. Not confidence when the tires are perfect. Not confidence only when the car is in the right temperature window. Complete belief. Leclerc did not have that. And the frightening part for Ferrari is that he had already been feeling the problem. The brake issue had followed him across recent races. He had already spoken about the feeling not being good enough. He had already been dealing with a car that made the final phase of braking more difficult than it should have been. That final phase is where Monaco becomes cruel. It is not just the moment when the driver presses the brake pedal hard. It is the moment after that, when the car is slowing, the pressure is coming off, the steering is coming in, and the rear of the car has to stay calm while the driver places the front wheels exactly where he wants them. That is the delicate moment. The moment where instinct matters more than thought. The moment where the car has to feel honest. And if the car does not feel honest, the driver cannot attack the same way. He might still be brave. He might still be fast. He might still push because the race demands it. But part of his mind is no longer free. Part of his mind is waiting for the car to surprise him. That is poison for a driver. And at Monaco, poison becomes impact. This is why Ferrari are in such a difficult position now. They cannot simply point to Hamilton's second place and say the weekend was proof of progress. It was proof of progress, yes, but it was also proof of imbalance. One Ferrari had the confidence to reach the podium. The other Ferrari did not finish, with Leclerc pointing toward the brakes. That contrast is not just dramatic. It is technical. It is political. It is emotional. And it is impossible for Ferrari to ignore. Because Hamilton's result changes the way everyone reads Leclerc's crash. If both cars had failed, Ferrari could call it a team-wide struggle. If both drivers had complained about the same feeling, the team could say the entire package had a general brake weakness. If Hamilton had looked equally uncomfortable, Ferrari could hide the issue inside a broader problem. But Hamilton finished second. That makes the comparison unavoidable. The same team had one side of the garage turning the SF26 into a podium car, while the other side had a driver saying the car would not stop the way it should. That is where Hamilton's reaction becomes important, because he did not need to create drama for the story to shift. The result already did that. A second place in Monaco in a Ferrari gives Hamilton authority inside the project. It tells the engineers that his side of the car worked. It tells the team that his direction may be valuable. It tells the world that his move to Ferrari has real performance behind it. But at the same time, Leclerc's DNF tells Ferrari the car is not complete. That is the contradiction. Hamilton gives Ferrari confidence. Leclerc gives Ferrari urgency. And Maranello has to handle both without letting the garage split. Because this is where the brake crisis becomes bigger than the braking system itself. The source of tension is not only the failure or the feeling or the data. It is the fact that Ferrari may already have had another direction available. Hamilton was working with a different brake configuration, a newer path, something that appeared to give him more stability and confidence. Leclerc stayed with something more familiar, which makes sense on the surface, because Monaco is the last place a driver wants a surprise. A driver wants to know the pedal. He wants the car to speak a language his body already understands. He wants every braking zone to feel predictable, because Monaco does not allow experiments to go wrong quietly. But that is the cruel twist. The familiar path may have been the dangerous one. Sometimes a driver chooses the setup he understands because it feels safer. But if that setup has already been warning him, then familiarity becomes a trap. Feels known, but known does not mean stable. It feels comfortable, but comfort does not always mean control. And now Ferrari have to ask the question that nobody inside the team will enjoy. Was the safer answer already on Hamilton's side of the garage? If it was, then the Monaco DNF becomes more than a driver's bad day. It becomes a failure to align the team quickly enough. A failure to remove the risk from Leclerc's car before the most unforgiving race of the season. A failure to turn a warning into a solution before the wall turned it into evidence. That does not mean Ferrari ignored the problem on purpose. Formula One is rarely that simple. Decisions are made through compromise. Driver feel matters. Data matters. Risk matters. Timing matters. Engineers do not just force a change because one solution looks better on paper. Especially not at Monaco. But after a crash, every compromise is re-examined. What looked cautious before the race can look costly after it. What looked like respecting the driver's comfort can look like leaving him exposed. What looked manageable can suddenly look unacceptable. That is what Ferrari are facing now. A brake problem they may have thought they could manage became a DNF at Leclerc's home race. And that is a crisis, because the damage is not only in the result, it is in the trust. The next time Leclerc approaches a heavy braking zone, he needs the Ferrari to answer cleanly. He needs the pedal to feel predictable. He needs the rear axle to stay with him. He needs the final phase of braking to feel stable enough that his body stops remembering Monaco. That is not easy. A driver can say he has moved on. A team can say the issue is understood. The data can show a fix. But trust returns only when the car proves it on track. Lap after lap. Corner after corner. Under pressure. That is why this brake crisis could follow Ferrari beyond Monaco if they do not act decisively. Because Leclerc's confidence is now part of the technical problem, not separate from it. A driver who trusts the car gives better feedback. He attacks harder. He accepts the limit. He believes the team when it says a change will help. A driver who does not trust the car starts protecting himself. And protection costs performance. It can cost a 10th in qualifying. It can cost track position. It can cost strategy options. It can cost the ability to fight Hamilton on equal emotional ground. And that is where the internal Ferrari story becomes dangerous. Hamilton is gaining momentum. His second place proves he can deliver in red. It proves he can operate the SF26 in one of the most demanding races of the year. It proves that his experience is already valuable. That is great news for Ferrari. But only if it lifts the whole team. If Hamilton's rise happens while Leclerc is rebuilding trust, the garage balance becomes fragile. Not because Hamilton is causing the problem. He is not. He is doing his job. The problem is what happens around the comparison. Every Hamilton result becomes a reference point. Every Leclerc struggle becomes a question. Every brake update becomes a clue about whose feedback is driving development. Every interview becomes a possible sign of internal pressure. At Ferrari, those things grow quickly. This team does not get quiet problems. Everything becomes public. Everything becomes emotional. Everything becomes symbolic. A podium is not just a podium. A crash is not just a crash. A brake issue is not just a brake issue. It becomes a story about whether Ferrari can manage two elite drivers, whether the car is moving toward Hamilton, whether Leclerc is being left with a feeling he cannot trust, and whether Maranello can finally turn potential into control. That is why Ferrari must be very careful now. They cannot turn Hamilton's success into a weapon against Leclerc, and they cannot use Leclerc's pain as a reason to ignore Hamilton's evidence. The only useful path is to connect both. Hamilton's podium showed Ferrari what the car can be when the driver has confidence and the setup works. Leclerc's DNF showed Ferrari what happens when the driver loses trust in the most critical system on the car. Those are not separate stories. They are the complete picture. And the complete picture says Ferrari have speed, but the speed is still fragile. That is the first truth of this crisis. The second truth is even more uncomfortable. If the brake solution already existed in some form, then Ferrari have no time left to delay. They may need to widen the car's operating window. They may need to standardize the more stable direction. They may need to sacrifice a little peak aggression for consistency. They may need to change calibration, hardware, or the way the car balances mechanical braking with energy recovery. Whatever the answer is, the target is simple. Give Leclerc trust. Keep Hamilton's momentum. Make the Ferrari predictable. Because predictable does not mean slow. Predictable means usable. A predictable car allows a driver to brake later because he knows what will happen. It allows him to turn in harder because the rear feels alive but not dishonest. It allows him to push the limit because the car gives him the same answer every time. That is what a serious front-running car needs. Not just one brilliant lap. Not just one podium. Repeatable confidence. That is the standard Ferrari must reach. Hamilton's Monaco result suggests they are close. Leclerc's brake crisis shows they are not there yet. And being close but not there is one of the most dangerous places in Formula One. Because when a team is far away, everyone understands the work ahead. When a team is close, every failure feels like self-sabotage. That is why Monaco hurt Ferrari so badly. They could see the prize. Hamilton proved it was possible. Leclerc's crash showed how quickly it could be lost. And now the whole team has to decide what the crash really means. Was it a one-off disaster at the most punishing circuit in the world? Or was it the clearest sign yet that Ferrari's brake system is operating inside a window too narrow for a full title fight? That is the question block one has to leave hanging. Because the answer will not come from words. It will come from the next time the Ferrari reaches a braking zone with everything on the line. Hamilton already showed the car can survive. Leclerc now needs Ferrari to prove the car can be trusted. And if they cannot do that, Monaco will not be remembered as just another DNF. It will be remembered as the moment Ferrari's biggest hidden weakness became impossible to deny.